Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Splash Sisters. I'm Hana,
And I'm Mev.
and today we're going to be playing a game. It's called Start Bench Cut, and our producer Paris is going to read out some names, and we're just going to decide if we want to start, bench, or cut them.
Sounds good. What's up, girls? Hope you guys are doing
Hey,
well.
what's up, Paris?
All right. So the first one here is Donovan Mitchell, Trae Young, and De'Aaron Fox.
This one's so hard because they're definitely
This
in
is
the same
hard.
tier. Like, three of those players are definitely in the same tier, and they all provide like
This is hard.
This is really and like it's like 2 point guards and 1 shooting guard, and obviously the point guards provide like playmaking, which I think Donovan Mitchell also provides because of his scoring gravity.
We all saw what happened with the Cavs in the first round of the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I
so-
think that was a really uncharacteristic series from Donovan Mitchell because we all know he's like an elite playoff performer. And on the Jazz, he went like crazy in the playoffs every year, even when he was a rookie. I think he definitely will have redemption next season with the Cavs because they also do have made some offseason moves.
I'm gonna start Trae Young, bench De'Aaron Fox, and cut Donovan Mitchell.
You're cutting Donovan Mitchell?
I mean,
No
I feel like he really
way.
exposed himself.
I don't know, because this is the hardest question, to be honest.
I mean, I think Fox and Trae Young are both better
I still
playmakers
don't know
than
what
him.
I'm gonna do here.
Fox and Trae Young are both better playmakers. They're arguably better scorers.
I don't
so-
know. I think definitely, I'd say Donovan Mitchell is the best scorer here, but Trae Young is the best playmaker here. I wouldn't be surprised if his career averages are like 26 and 9 or something, because he literally can average 27 and 10 in his sleep.
Now
I
I'm
think I'm
regretting
gonna
it
start-
because I just remembered Donovan Mitchell's like 60-point game. But like,
I'm gonna start Donovan Mitchell, bench
Donovan.
Trae Young, and cut De'Aaron Fox. I love De'Aaron Fox, but I think I'd take both of those players before him just because they've been elite.
Fox almost took
longer.
down the Warriors low
Fox
key
was great.
single-handedly.
Yeah, Fox was great, but
but
like,
I
I
think
think each of these players here have had a signature playoff moment. But I'll take like Donovan Mitchell because I feel like he's just an amazing scorer and playmaker. He's an underrated playmaker.
he's a better playmaker than either of them.
Definitely not. But I see people's reasoning for putting Trae Young as a starter. But I don't know. I think I'm gonna start Donovan Mitchell, bench Trae Young, and cut De'Aaron Fox. That was really hard because all three players are on the same tier. Like
Yeah, I honestly still
Easily
think
on
it
the
could go
same
either way. I might regret my answer later, but
Trae Young, I mean,
It is what
De'Aaron
it
Fox's best season was definitely this year, and I think Trae Young, year by year, is getting disrespected. Like, has only been an All-Star a couple times, even though each year he's putting up great stats. And Donovan Mitchell is just like that bona fide All-Star that you already know, like he's gonna be an All-Star every year until like he's in his 30s, in his mid-30s. I think he's gonna be like a multiple-time All-Star. He's just a special player, Donovan Mitchell.
All right, moving on to number 2. We got Jokic, Curry, and Giannis. Start bench cut.
This one's
so
hard
we're basically debating who's the first best player, second best player, and third best player in the world right now.
too. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna start
this is hard.
Jokic because he just won a championship, put up like historical numbers. I don't think anyone is able to do what he's doing right now, and he's gonna continue to do it. I think he's better than definitely Curry. I'm gonna cut Curry and bench Giannis too, just because I feel like Curry is like
I do think
I don't
Curry,
see him going
obviously
far-
Curry's
like, far
older, and he doesn't have like
that's why he's like
he-
older than
he's
them.
not how he used to be. He definitely used to be more agile. Just like honestly, probably a better scorer too. Just in general, like it was harder to game plan around him. And now since he's older, it's not the same, to be honest. Like, but that's why I think I'd start Giannis, just because I think I like his two-way ability better, and he's just elite on both ends, and like that's just a rare talent. Like he's literally like a top 3 scorer and a top 3 defensive player when he wants to be. He averaged like over 30 points this year easily. I completely understand when people start Jokic, but I think I'm gonna start Giannis just because of that reason, and bench Jokic. Even though I definitely agree with people also starting Jokic, but Jokic is probably the most impactful player in the league. I think he can make bums look like great players, honestly, and that's why I think I'll bench him. And Curry, just because like these two players we just mentioned are in the prime of their careers. And Curry is still so great too, but I think he's definitely the third best player in the league. So
I agree.
cut
No
Curry.
shade. I'm just gonna cut Curry only for that reason. Like Giannis, the best two-way player in the league. Jokic, the best player in the league. Curry's gotta go.
If we were talking about Curry like 2 years ago, he'd probably be above both of these
Or
players.
even Curry last year. I know Giannis got like the first round exits and all that, but like
I still like Giannis still injured. I still think that the Bucks easily beat the Heat. if nothing went wrong with Giannis and the Bucks go on to the finals and it's a Jokic versus Giannis matchup. I think that 100% happens if Giannis never got hurt in the first round.
I agree. I think that would have been a better outcome, in my opinion.
And the Bucks low-key like kept their players core together, so as long as they make a couple more moves, I think they could definitely be the favorites in the East. Okay, let's go on to the next one.
All right. So the next one here we have Kyrie Irving, Ja Morant, and Devin Booker.
Kyrie Irving, Ja Morant, Devin Booker.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna start Booker because I think he's the best scorer here at the moment. Like, he can transform the whole game just by his scoring, and like no one can guard him. So I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna bench. This is hard. I think I'm gonna bench Ja Morant because I think that like what he's been able to do, bring like the Grizzlies high up in the standings on his own, like as the main guy, when like Kyrie, like I'm sorry, but we haven't really seen much from Kyrie as the main guy. And yeah, I think Ja is just like transcendent at the rim. He can score whenever he wants. He's a great finisher, and honestly doesn't really have a weakness in his game, like an actual weakness. So I think I'm gonna bench Ja and cut Kyrie just because I think Kyrie is older at this moment, like I mentioned with Curry. So I think both of these players are just like can offer more at the moment, but Kyrie just honestly can't be that main guy on a team.
Well, I'm gonna start Kyrie because if we're talking about actual skill and the game of
Start
basketball,
Kyrie. Come on, like Booker is better at this moment.
no,
Ja is better at this
no,
moment.
definitely not Ja. It's really debatable between Booker and Kyrie. So if we're talking about like health wise, like healthy Booker, healthy Ja, healthy Kyrie on your team, I think you'd be dumb to not want Kyrie on your team. He's a better playmaker. He can honestly be a better scorer than both of them too, and a more impactful player, I think.
I don't know. I'm taking both of the younger guys who
And I'm gonna
have
bench
shown that
Booker.
they can play on the court. Honestly, obviously,
Ja
like,
playing when.
Ja does have problems there, but
I'm cutting Ja. I think he has yet to prove that he's better than either of them. He hasn't really accomplished anything yet, so he's getting cut.
I think Ja just obviously has off-court problems, but on the court he's just a menace and he can do whatever he wants on the court. He reminds me like Russell Westbrook.
Sometimes he's not that consistent. You can't say that. If anything, the most consistent one is Booker.
I think they both average better stats than Kyrie at this moment. I don't know. I just think Kyrie's older and he is injury prone. Booker had Kevin Durant on the court, was the best player on the court throughout the whole playoffs. And Ja has taken his team farther than Kyrie ever has as the main guy. So I think Kyrie has to go here. Okay, next one.
All right. For the next one, Allen Iverson, James Harden, and Dwayne Wade.
I'm going to start Dwayne Wade. This man has won championships. He's been the best player on a championship team. He's had a crazy peak. I think I'll start him. I'll bench James Harden. I think James Harden is so underrated all time. And he's had crazy seasons, scoring seasons. And I think he's had plenty of seasons where they've been better than Iverson's best season. And as a scorer, I think I'll take James Harden over Allen Iverson. James Harden could score in his prime whenever he wanted to, from anywhere on the court, and scoring at crazy rates on great efficiency. Yeah, and I think I'll cut Iverson, sadly. Even though Iverson's had like a great career, but I think both of those guys are better as players than he was.
It's kind of sad because this is low-key setting up Iverson.
Honestly, I always see this debate, and people always say that Iverson over Harden. I always see this debate.
I see people saying Harden over Wade too.
Yeah, I think a lot of people.
It's like I feel like it's so close.
A lot of
to
people
even say.
recognize how great Harden has been, but just because he has 0 championships, they can't put him over Wade, who has 3, right? That's why they can't do that. But I think, despite the championships, I think that like Harden could have won a championship if it wasn't for the stacked ass Warriors team he had to come across. Like, he would easily have a championship at this moment if it wasn't for them. Everything is like situational in the NBA, like teams and stuff.
And AI would have championships if he had help. You know, if we're gonna do that.
Yeah, but I think Harden is better like at everything on the court than Iverson was, except for like handles maybe. But Iverson like transcended the league just because of his play style and because he was like that small guard, really small guard, and that people looked up to him and stuff. But I think Harden, just as a player, he was dropping like 60-point triple doubles like it was nothing. Like, this man is so good. But like greatness wise, I think like Wade has to be above him. But I think you can argue that Harden was a better player than Wade was. I think people argue that all the time. But I'll start Wade, bench Harden, and cut Iverson.
I think I'm gonna agree with you on this one.
Really?
Twin telepathy. I don't want to cut Iverson, but it has to be done.
Okay, next one, please.
First of all, I just have to step in here real quick. So AIs definitely should never, ever, ever be mentioned with the word cut next to them in the history of any sort of conversation that is going to be happening with basketball. AI made James Harden James Harden. Like, if it wasn't for AI, there would be no
Okay,
James
dude.
Harden. And AI with the braids, especially with the braids, brought a team to a chip. Harden never did that. He always choked, and he
AI never
emulated
wanted
his
to.
game off of AI. But AI at
He-
least got there by himself with the worst
I do
teams
see
of
what you're
any
saying there.
Rockets.
I do see what you're saying there. Iverson has brought his team to the finals. Harden has never brought his own team to the finals, so I see what you're saying there. I just think that like Harden could do more on the court. But like I said, Harden would have had a championship right now if it wasn't for Kevin Durant.
That is fair. That is fair. But Harden could definitely do a lot more choking on the court as well. So just put that out there. Just putting that out there. So for the next one, we have Austin Reaves, Jordan Poole, and Tyler Herro.
I think I'm gonna start Tyler Herro, bench Austin Reaves, and cut Jordan Poole.
I'm gonna start Austin Reaves. I think he's proved, like, even in this recent playoffs, if we're talking about recent, he's better than both of them. He was literally the third best player on the Lakers, so definitely starting Austin Reaves. I'm gonna bench Tyler Herro because I think when he's healthy, he's shown that he's a really good playoff performer and a good player in general. Bench Tyler Herro, and then I'm gonna cut Jordan Poole. Sadly, he didn't even look like a basketball player last year. He just like forgot how to play basketball. So
Honestly, like I've said before, that Jordan Poole next season will average 25 points per game, and I still believe it. And we'll see if I'm right, but that's why I feel like Jordan Poole, I'm cutting him just because how bad he looked in the playoffs, so I had to cut him. But I think overall, I think he has a higher ceiling than Austin Reaves, and we've seen it. Like, he was great in the playoffs last year, and I think we could end up being really wrong about this. Like, Poole could end up being better than both of these players, but I feel like as of right now, I'd start Herro because I think he's the best scorer here, and he's been at it for a couple years now. So I think the consistency is there with Herro, so I'm starting him. And Austin Reaves did look really good, and he was so efficient. It was rare when we saw him miss, and his passing was really good too. So that's why I have to bench him and cut Poole, just because we really did see like a really bad version of him, where like the Warriors didn't even get a good return on him when they traded him, and they got an aging Chris Paul, which like if they traded him last year, they would have got a haul for Jordan Poole, and no one's talking about that. Like now, they got him for a 38-year-old Chris Paul, which I don't think that will age well. I think that the Warriors will definitely regret that. They should have at least waited another year to see, because I think Poole, he's just young. Like, every player has had like bad playoffs, like in the NBA, like every player has. There hasn't been a spotless playoff performer. So I think they should have waited on trading him, because I really don't think Chris Paul moves the needle at all. But yeah, I think that Poole could end up being better than all two of these players, because I think he does have a really high ceiling compared to them. But yeah, as of now, that's my ranking. I think it could definitely change. Okay,
that's fair. I agree.
yeah, okay. Next one.
We have Lauri Markkanen, Julius Randle, and Pascal Siakam.
I think I'm going to start Pascal Siakam. I think Pascal Siakam is a really, really good player, and he's really good on both ends. Like, he is a two-way player. He averaged like 24 points per game this year, and I think like 5 or 6 assists, and a lot of rebounds too. Yeah, I think he is the most complete player here. So I think I'll definitely start him. And never forget, he was the second best player on the championship team in 2019. So I think Pascal Siakam definitely gets to start. But I don't care if people hate me for this. I'm gonna bench Julius Randle, because I think Lauri Markkanen is a good player, but he's had one good season. I can't put him over Randle, who's had multiple good seasons. He's a 2-time All-Star, All-NBA player. So I think I'm gonna bench Julius Randle, even though I think his playoffs, he's not a great playoff performer at all. But he was injured, so I'm gonna let it slide. But yeah, I think I'm gonna bench Julius Randle. I think Lauri Markkanen can end up obviously getting better and better. I think he had a great season last year. He was so efficient. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cut him for now. For now, keyword. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What about you, Mev?
Wait, who'd you start again?
I started Pascal.
Oh yeah, like I was thinking about starting him too. I think he's accomplished more than both of them, obviously, so far. He's honestly, again, like the best two-way player. I'd rather have him on my team. I mean, I feel like it's close. I like Lauri Markkanen. I'm just so mad at the Bulls organization for letting him go. I think he has such a high ceiling and he's so promising. And I just hate that like the Bulls shoved him in the corner and just expected him to like flourish that way. And then we traded him and then he became so much better. Like, oh my God. So I'm gonna bench
He improved
Larry.
like no one expected that. I'm not a single person.
I literally knew he was gonna be good, but like
He literally
God.
went from like role player to all-star starter. Isn't that crazy?
yeah, and then I'm gonna bench Julius. Like I just can't get over how he
Wait, you mean
absolutely.
cut?
Oh, that's what I meant. Sorry. I'm gonna cut Julius Randle. He just like I just can't stand how he goes from this to this in the postseason.
Well, maybe Lauri Markkanen needs to get to playoffs first before we can judge them playoff-wise.
I mean, so ignorance is bliss in this case because we don't know how he is gonna be. So as of right now, he is not getting cut. Sorry. Also, I think he has a higher ceiling than Julius Randle. So
Who knows? Watch like Lauri Markkanen fall back down to earth next year, and everyone's like, "What the hell happened in that season?"
no, I think the Jazz are gonna be good.
The Jazz, they're gonna have John Collins, Walker Kessler, and Lauri Markkanen. I don't know. I don't understand why they traded for John Collins. Like, and the Hawks, like they've been wanting to trade John Collins for who knows how long, and they didn't even get a good return for him either. Like they should have traded him years ago when his value was higher. That's why I'll never understand the Hawks. Like they're really dumb for that.
So for the next one, we have Prime Harden, Prime CP3, and Prime Westbrook.
Prime Harden, Prime CP3, and Prime Westbrook. Damn, I don't even know what to do
why'd you
here.
do this to us?
I think I'm gonna start Prime Harden, bench Prime CP3, and cut Westbrook. Don't hate
Dude,
me,
come on.
please. I know everyone.
All I think about
I know Russ
is
is a
prime
fan favorite, but
when I think of prime CP3, I think of the disastrous like Clippers. He was good, but like they didn't accomplish anything. Like at least Westbrook has an MVP, and Brad's team.
Chris
don't
Paul
know.
has been an MVP
I mean-
candidate like his whole career.
I know, but like
That's why I'm starting. I mean, that's why I'm benching him, just because like he's been elite for like so long. Like he was an MVP candidate in 2008, and he was an MVP candidate in 2021. Do you not see that longevity? How crazy it is. The only reason I'm starting Harden is because I think he peaked higher than both of them. So yeah, I'm thinking Harden should have been a multiple-time MVP winner. So that's why I'm thinking I'll start Harden, bench Chris Paul because the longevity is like he might have the best longevity out of any point guard in NBA history. So I'll bench Chris Paul, and then I'm gonna cut Westbrook. Even though I think Westbrook's prime was amazing, like he was a walking triple-double. He can impact so many players. He can take his team to the playoffs every year, just like the other two players.
I'm sorry, but I'm not benching Westbrook instead of someone who blew the only player to blow 5-2-0 leads in their career. Like CP3 is
We're not talking about playoffs because Westbrook is not some elite playoff performer either.
I know, but like I feel like Westbrook,
None of these players that right here
his
are elite
prime
playoff performers.
stats don't compare. They don't compare.
Yeah, I think honestly that's my list. Like this is a really like close one, so I want to hear what you guys think. But yeah, for me, I'm gonna start Harden, Prime Harden. By the way, this is primes. It's like however long they were good for. But yeah, Prime Harden, Prime Chris Paul, and Prime Westbrook. I know it's sad because I like watching Prime Westbrook, like his MVP season was insane. Yeah, I just think the other two have had like more elite seasons.
I don't care. I'm starting Harden, benching Russ, and cutting CP3.
I mean, I think it's a really close debate for all three of these players.